For more than 50 years, scientists were confident that the Big Bang Theory proves the fact that this event was the starting point for what's existing today, no matter if we talk about the universe, galaxies, planets, stars, even life itself. But it seems like the James Webb Telescope is here to prove us wrong, coming up with the latest images which lead us to believe that the Big Bang might have never happened, intriguing all scientists around the globe and provoking a huge confusion. Let's deep dive into the topic and see what exactly disproves the Big Bang Theory. First of all, we have to understand how exactly the James Webb Telescope works. The James Webb Telescope was finished years later than expected, and it costed much more than it was planned, but it seems like NASA and scientists around the world, even regular people, are proud of it, despite the fact that they crossed their time and financial limits. This telescope just started a new era in astronomy, and it is ready to answer so many questions that we never imagined we could ever answer. It can even gather information from our universe's earliest stages, star formations, and check if planets beyond our solar system could be habitable. We may consider that the James Webb Telescope is like a little brother to Hubble, a telescope which was launched in 1990 by NASA that gave scientists a window into the deep space. As we already know, JWST is much better than Hubble from any point of view, but they complete each other as both are necessary to get the humankind to higher levels. But of course, everyone is expecting JWST to show us a different side of space. One of the primary goals would be to look back through time, when galaxies were young. When a telescope looks further away, it is inevitably looking back in time, because it takes a long time for the light that the telescope is receiving to finally reach it. This means that whenever we look at a picture of an entity that the James Webb Telescope captured, it is not actually what the object looks like now, but what it looked like when it released the light that has been traveling billions of years across the universe to reach us. In order for the telescope to see objects so far away, it needs to have a giant mirror that collects the object's light. We can make a comparison between the Hubble telescope and the Webb telescope to see what actually makes them so powerful, and that is the size of the mirror. The bigger the better, as it determines its sensitivity or how much detail it can see. We can observe that there is a major difference between Webb's mirror and Hubble's mirror, and we can tell by the images they both captured. Webb's primary mirror catches red and infrared light traveling through the space, and it reflects it into one smaller secondary mirror. Now, in order to understand how such a telescope would disprove the Big Bang Theory, let's see what exactly this theory states. Basically, the Big Bang Theory is the leading explanation for how the universe was actually created. As simple as that, the universe started with an infinitely hot and dense single point that inflated and stretched over the next almost 14 billion years to the cosmos that we all know today. Unfortunately, we haven't reached the technology to peer back at the universe's birth, as what we understand about the Big Bang comes mainly from mathematical models and formulas. The Big Bang Theory has its roots in the discovery of a priest named Georges Lemaitre. He was the first to come with the idea that the universe is expanding, which was later confirmed by Edwin Hubble, hence the name of the famous telescope. Edwin Hubble came with an observation that the further away a galaxy is, the faster it's moving away from Earth, meaning that the universe is still expanding, just like Lemaitre thought. Now that we understand what this theory states, let's take a look at Webb's most recently taken pictures. While most of us are being astonished by these incredible images, there is much more when it comes to analyzing them. Physicist Eric J. Lerner said that the images show surprisingly many galaxies that are surprisingly smooth, small and old. But what exactly does he mean by stating this? Let's start with the first attribute, smooth. The existence of the ultra-dense and tiny galaxies named Mighty Mouse galaxies is necessary in order to prove the Big Bang Theory. As specified by the theory, these small galaxies need to smash into each other so they can develop into the current galaxies, causing them to merge and expand. To illustrate the merging effect, imagine multiple little spheres crashing into each other, developing into a bigger sphere. The Big Bang Theory revealed that there would be galaxies with scars or rough edges from the impact they experienced. But the JWST proved that this wasn't the case, as it took pictures of spiral galaxies that are perfectly smooth. Now, what happens if the galaxies are too small? Starting with the idea that our universe is continuously expanding, an optical illusion should exist. Objects and entities such as galaxies do not appear smaller and smaller as the distance increases. Actually, they must become larger and larger. The reason behind this fact is their brightness that is supposed to leave them. This is exactly what we see in a non-expanding universe, where objects appear smaller in proportion to their distance. In this image of multiple galaxies that has been taken by the James Webb Telescope, we can observe the small galaxies that we have discussed about earlier. An expanding universe is not expected to behave in this way. If it is indeed considered that our universe is not expanding, consequently, the galaxies that JWST has discovered so far are precisely the same size as the galaxy that is closest to us. Let's examine what's the influence of the old galaxies and what does it have to do with the Big Bang. The James Webb Telescope uses multiple filters so it can capture images of entities, including galaxies. The scientists can see the colors of the galaxies thanks to these features, so they can use them as well to determine the age of the galaxy's stars. As we can see in the following pictures, they can determine the age of the stars by analyzing the spectrum and the colors. The smallest ones are the youngest, and they are red or yellow, and as they continue to grow older and older, they become blue or even white when they approach their death. In compliance with the Big Bang theory, the most faraway galaxies that have been discovered by JWST are actually visible as they were around 500 million years after our universe's creation, but the star populations in some of these galaxies, however, are older than a billion years. Basically, these galaxies are the perfect proof that Big Bang may have never happened, since nothing could have existed before this event. So if the Big Bang never happened, then this means that the universe has always existed. But the problem is that if the universe had always existed for an infinite amount of time, then everything that happened, everything that happens and everything that could possibly happen must have already happened, and not once or twice, but an infinite number of times, including the fact that we do not and never have existed, but we know we do exist. This is what happens when we are trying to play with infinity. It always results in absurdity. We can therefore assume that the universe began, but we do not yet fully understand how it did so. Really mind-blowing, right? We know we talk about science when we encountered multiple different challenges, but this is the beauty of it. Let us know in the comments if you think whether the Big Bang took place or not.